Hey guys, it's Crochet by Marley. If you are new here, welcome, and if you're returning, welcome back. Today we are going to be doing a video tutorial on my super popular strawberry bucket hats. If you're looking for a fun and easy beginner-friendly pattern that is sure to be a market hit, I got you covered. For anyone who would prefer to have the written instructions, I will put the links in my description to my website as well as my Ravelry. If you decide to go through my website, I do have a pattern bundle if you purchase 2 or more patterns, and I do have some goodies up there, so definitely recommend checking that out. Now let's get into what kind of materials you're gonna need. So for your hat itself, you can use about any kind of yarn you have lying around. I recommend using a 4 medium size yarn. The yarn that I prefer to use is always going to be the Premier Anti-Pilling line. This is what I use for all of my hats. I've used it for cardigans. This is a huge favorite of mine. The quality is great and it's also not that expensive per skein. So I definitely recommend. I will also link that below as well. For the strawberry bucket hat, you're going to need 3 different colors. You're going to want your base color. I like to do pink or red. And then you're also going to need a green for your stem and your leaves. And then you're going to need a white for your little strawberry seeds. And you're not going to use too much of your white and green yarn, but you will use almost a full ball of your base color. And for example, this is a size 4 medium, 100% acrylic yarn, and it is 180 yards. You're also going to need a 5mm crochet hook, a tapestry needle, and some scissors. I will also write down all of the materials needed in the description below, and I will link the specific colors I use from the Premier Anti-Pilling line if that is something that you'd like to do, and I will put that next to the link to the actual website itself. Like I said, this is a beginner-friendly pattern, and so I will list this as well for the abbreviations, but we will be using single crochet, double crochet, half double crochet, treble crochet, chain, slip stitch, increase, decrease, as well as front loop only. If you are unfamiliar with how to do any of these, you will see it in my tutorial as we go along. There are also some amazing individual tutorials for these specific stitches that you can find online. So let's talk about sizing. This is written to fit an adult size head. Do keep in mind that this is a bucket hat, so that means that it's going to hit above your ears. It is not going to go all the way down like a beanie. But this is a very easy pattern to modify. If you want to make it for a child size head, you will just need to remove some of the increased rows and then just try it on as you go. I haven't made any for a child size yet, but it is in the works. I just don't have a child to have modeled the hat to make sure I'm on the right page, but it is something that is totally doable, and I know that some people have done it themselves with my pattern. Starting off with our green, we will be starting with the stem of the hat. We're going to start with a slip knot, and then we will be chaining 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Starting from the second chain from the hook, you're going to single crochet down. You will wind up with 5 single crochets. So you're going to turn without chaining. You will go into both loops, single crochet, and then going into the back loop only of the next 3 stitches, you'll do 1, 2, 3, and then on this last stitch you're going to do a single crochet through both loops. Turn your work, don't chain, go into the 2 loops, single crochet, back loop only, 1, 2, 3, into both loops, single crochet. You're going to do this until you have 12 rows. Once you finish your 12 rows, it's going to look like this. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to slit stitch down the gaps, and you're going to skip one. So we're going to go into this one right here. 1, skip, 2, skip that one, go into that one, 3, 4, and 5. So it's going to start curling in on itself like so. And then you're going to grab one of the loops from one side and a loop, and then a loop on the other side, and you're going to slit stitch through those. So we have 1 through that side into the opposite side, 2 through that back loop into the opposite, 3 through the back loop into the opposite, 4, and 1 more into the very bottom, 5. So it's going to create this little bit, and you can close off this hole at the top if you want to. I always leave it open, just personal preference. You're going to cut and pull through. And there you go. You have the start of our strawberry bucket hat. Now going in with our base color, we are going to use red. Now going in with our red yarn, we are going to start with a standing double crochet. This is my preferred method. Obviously you can do whatever you would feel like it. So we are going to be going into these bottom stitches of our little topper. So to do a standing double crochet, you do a slip stitch, and then you're going to yarn over just like you would if you were doing a regular double crochet. Go into one of the loops at the bottom there, and then you're just going to complete it. Give it a little bit of a pull like you would a regular double crochet, and there you go. And so we're going to do 2 stitches and every loop around the bottom. You're going to finish with a total of 24 stitches around. So do this until you reach 24 stitches around, and then you will have completed your first round of the base hat. So once you finish the first round of your base hat, this is where you're going to wind up with, and we are going to slip stitch into the top of that standing double crochet right there. Slip stitch into there, and there you go. You have connected it all the way around. And so now we're going to chain 2. I chain 2 because I don't count it as a first double crochet. So chain 2, and then you're going to do a double crochet increase. So 2 double crochets into that same stitch. We do not count the chain 2 as a stitch. So you're going to do 2 double crochets in the first stitch, and then you're going to do 1 double crochet in the next, and then you're going to do increase double crochet, 1 double crochet. And you're going to follow this increase 1 double crochet pattern all the way around, and you're going to wind up with a total of 36 stitches. So after you do that, you're going to count to make sure you have 36 stitches, and we are going to slip stitch into the top right here. All right, and then we have brought it all together. So now you're going to chain 2. Reminder, this does not count as your first stitch, and we are going to do a double crochet increase into that same stitch. And then we're going to do 1 double crochet and another double crochet, and then we are going to do an increase, double crochet, double crochet, and you're going to follow this increase double crochet, 2 single double crochet pattern until you get all the way around, and you are going to wind up having a total of 48 stitches at the end of this round. All right, and we have now finished round 3, so make sure you double check that you have 48 stitches before moving on to round 4. Just like we did at the start of round 3, to start round 4, we are going to slit stitch into the top of the previous round, and we have officially brought it all together. So moving on to round 4, we are going to chain 2. Reminder, this does not count as a stitch, and we are going to do an increase into the same stitch. So 2 double crochets into that starting stitch, and then we are going to do 1, 2, and 3 double crochets. And then we are going to do a double crochet increase, and then 1, 2, 3, double crochets. You're going to follow this same pattern of doing a double crochet increase followed by 3 double crochets all the way around until you reach a total of 60 stitches. We are at the end of round 4. Double check to make sure that you have a total of 60 stitches before moving on to round 5. So to connect, we're going to slip stitch into the top of round 4. And now to start round 5, we will do 2, chain 2, does not count as your first double crochet, and then do a double crochet increase into the starting stitch. After that, you're going to do 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, 3, and 4 double crochets, and then we are going to do a double crochet increase, followed by 4 double crochets, 3, and 4. You're going to follow the pattern of a double crochet increase followed by 4 double crochets until you reach the end, and you will have a total of 72 stitches. We have now finished round 5, which will be our last round of increased double crochets. If you decide you need your hat to be bigger, you can follow the same pattern of increase and then X amount of double crochets in between. So if you are following along with my pattern, and then we are done with round 5, and we are going to slip stitch into the top so we can start round 6. Make sure that you have 72 stitches in total. So this is where it starts getting super repetitive and is a great project to use while you watch whatever show you really like or whatever it is you do while you crochet. Chain 2, reminder, this does not count as one of your double crochets, so we're going to do a double crochet back into that same stitch, and then we are just going to double crochet all the way around until we reach the end. We have now finished round 6, and this is what your hat should be looking like. We just finished doing the double crochets all the way around. Double check to make sure you have 72 stitches, and we are going to move on to round 7. So slip stitching into the start of the previous round, chaining 2, and doing a double crochet into that same starting stitch. And then from here until round 13, we are going to repeat round 6. So we will be doing double crochets all the way around. Make sure you have 72 at the end of every row. And then once you hit a total of 8 rows doing the single double crochets all the way around, make sure to try on your hat. Like I said in the beginning of this video, a bucket hat is going to stop right at the top of the ears and flare out. So when you try it on, you will want it to hit that top of the ear mark. If you need to add any more rows, you can do so, or if you need to take any away. But a total of 8 single double crochet rows has been the standard for everyone that has used this pattern, all my pattern testers as well. We are now done with round 7, and as you are probably starting to see, it is going to start kind of curling, which will start the base of your bucket hat. And so you are just going to continue, like I said, round 7 to 13 is repeating the same as round 6. So we are just going to go all the way around doing double crochets in every stitch. Make sure that you count at the end of every row that you have 72, and I will see you guys once I hit round 13. Now we have finished round 13, and we have tried it on. It fits exactly as I want it, which is right above my ears. So we will be moving on to round 14. So moving on to round 14, you're going to make sure to connect your rows, and we are going to chain 2. For this round, we will be working in the front loops only. So we are going to do a double crochet increase, front loops only. So going into that starting stitch, do a double crochet increase, and then we are going to do 1 double crochet. And then we are going to do a double crochet increase and 1 double crochet. We will be working this entire round following the pattern of double crochet, increase, double crochet in the front loops only until you reach the end of the row. All right, we are officially done with round 14 and we'll be moving on to round 15. And just so you know, we are working on the ruffle rows of the bottom of our bucket hat. So moving on to the next round, making sure you have 108 stitches, we are going to slip stitch into the start of the previous round, chain 2, and for this round we will be working in both loops. So where the previous round was front loops only, we will be working in both loops. So we're going to do a double crochet increase in the first stitch, and then we will do 1 double crochet in the next stitch, and then we are going to follow the double crochet increase, 1 double crochet pattern all the way around. As a reminder, this is the finished look we are going for. This one has a pretty good ruffle on it, which is what we are working on right now. If you don't want it to be as ruffly, then you can always add more stitches in between your double crochet increases, or omit one of the increase rows altogether and just do straight double crochets all the way around. All right, we have now finished round 15 and are still continuing on our ruffles of our hat. So going on to the next round, which is round 16, we are going to slip stitch into the top of the previous round, chain 2, and then we're going to do a double crochet increase into that same stitch, and then we are going to follow the same pattern as the last round, doing a double crochet increase followed by 1 double crochet, and we are going to do this pattern all the way around until we reach the end. So I just finished round 16 on this one that we are working on. I wanted it to be a little bit more ruffly than I typically do, which is why for the round that I just did, I did a double crochet increase, double crochet, and followed that pattern all the way around. Now we are going to go into round 17. And for round 17, we will slip stitch into the top there, and we are going to do 2 chains into that first stitch, do a single double crochet, and then we are going to go around this entire brim here and just do a double crochet in every stitch until we reach the end, where we will fasten off and we will have finished the body of our strawberry bucket hat. Unfortunately, the recording for this part got deleted, so here are the written instructions from my actual pattern. Once you finish making all 5 leaves, you are going to pin them. I recommend pinning them at the top of the stem and at the bottom so that they're all even. And then I take my tapestry needle and I sew every other back loop only. Now taking our tapestry needle and our white yarn, we are going to start on the seeds. So for this, you are going to need to pull a very long amount of white yarn. It's going to be significantly more than you think. And we are going to go in right here. So 1 row up from the very bottom. You'll pull your yarn through and then you'll go up, so it'll be the length of that double crochet. You will yarn over, pull all of that through, and then you're going to go in. You will do 2 loops around for each seed. So then you're also going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over and pop your needle out. And so for every seed, you are going to do 6 stitches in between. 2 loops around per seed, 6 stitches in between. We finished our first round of the seeds, and so what we are going to do is we are going to go 1, 2 rows above the first ones, and we are going to go into the middle between the 2. You're going to follow the same pattern of doing 2 loops around per every seed and then counting 6 stitches in between. So once we finished our second row, we went to our third row, which was once again going 1, 2 rows above the second row of seeds and doing the same pattern of 2 loops around
about 6 stitches in between. Some of them may be a little bit closer together, so you may only do a handful. You just want to make sure it is as in line with the bottom as you can. The only time I see it being a real issue is when you get to the seam where you had your chain 2 stitches, it's a little bit uneven. But that is all for your crochet strawberry bucket hat.
And there we have it. We are officially done with our strawberry bucket hat. Thank you so much for joining me on my first crochet pattern tutorial. Hopefully there will be more coming up soon. The next one will be my fruit crochet bandana pattern. That one is also a very great market sale, and it's also just so cute. But I hope that you enjoyed making this, and if you have any comments, questions, concerns, or feedback, I would love to hear it in the comments below. And reminder that you can find the linked patterns to actually buy the physical written out copy in the description below. I hope everyone has a great rest of their day, and I would love to see people's finished crochet bucket hats. You can tag me on my social medias. I will have those linked below as well. The username is Crochet by Marley. Hope everyone has a great rest of your day. Bye.